In this video, we are going to report the device that is first logged in for each player. Hello, this is Jagan from Growth Data. I am hosting this video to share my knowledge in SQL with you. If this assists you in your interview preparation anyways, I will be happy. Welcome to the 37th video of our Advanced SQL 50 interview question series. We have different topics to cover and we are now continuing with our questions on subqueries. This video will be tagged in Advanced SQL 50 questions playlist and the code we discuss in this video will be uploaded to the GitHub. The link for the GitHub page will be in the video description part. Now let's see the data set and we can talk about the question more in detail. So we are given a table called activity. So this activity table got a player ID, what is that device, the game console they used, and the event date when they played, and the games played. So 5, 6 other game IDs. Okay, now if you see this, for the player 1, the device 2, he logged in on March 1st and August 2nd. And for the user 2, only one entry, which is using the device 3 on August 25th. And the player 3, he got device 1 and device 4. And device 1, he logged in at March 2nd. And device 2 on August 3rd. Right? So here what they are asking us to do is, for every player, you find the first login device. So if you see this, let's create the table. If you see this, so this is the first login device, right? On March 1st and August 2nd. So March 1st is the first day they used the device. So this will be the user ID and the device. We see user 2, it's only one entry, so that's the only device they used. And user 3, they use the first device on March 2nd and the device number 4 on August 3rd. So we have to consider the first day they use the device. So it's a March 2nd. So the expected output is going to be the player ID and the device ID, which is going to be the first two columns. Player ID is 1, we got the device 2. For 2, it's 3. For 3, it's 1. So we got 3 users and different device IDs. So how to address this? This is one of the very basic subquery question, and we have lot of options to address this. Let's start with our basic thing. You create the CTE table and then you approach, right? So we start with that approach. For CTE table, what we do, first you create a data set and then use that in the below query. That's called the CTE table. Select from activity table. So here what I'm going to do, I'm going to get the player ID and the first day, the minimum day, that for each player. So we get the player ID and then the minimum of event date as event date from this table. Since we use aggregation, we say group by player ID. If I run this, I got for the player 1, it's March 1st. For player 2, August 25th. For player 3, it's March 2nd. So that's what we are getting here. Okay. Now we are going to use this as a CT table with raw data as. So this I'm going to save it and then I say select from the activity table. You can say A. Now I am going to join the CT table, raw data B on, both are connected with the player ID. B dot player ID equal to A dot player ID. So we connect both the players. For activity, we got this 2 records for player 1, 1 record for player 2 and 2 record for player 3. For those players, you connect with the player ID and the minimum date, the first day they logged in, right? So we say for player ID and B dot the event date should be matching with A dot event date. So for 1, it's March 1st. So we carry only this. For 2, it's August 25th. So August 25th. Third one, March 2nd. So these are the 3 records we are going to expect. So we say a dot player ID, a dot, second column is the device ID. Since it's not an aggregation normal thing, we are just running. So now if you see, for user 1 or player 1, the device ID is 2. For player 2, the device ID is 3. For player 3, the device ID is 1. So that's what we are getting here. So this is a basic CT table. CT table is the one we just create a data set and then we use that in the below query. So that's the basic concept. This is the first one, right? We can say CT table. The next option what we are going to do is, we are going to create, instead of CT table, we are going to create that as a subquery table. What is subquery table? So here we have the raw data, right, which is referring to the CT table. What I am going to do is, I get the CT table directly. Instead of naming it, I just replace the raw data. So here you get this from the activity and you group by that. So whatever we did in the CT table, we directly do that in the table level. So activity table, inner join, activity table, you go inner join with the data set you are looking for. So connection is the same. You get the player ID and the event date. The event date here is the minimum date. If I run this, I get the same result, right? So 123 is 231. Great. So this is the second option, creating a subquery table. It's like a subquery, right? But you are referring that as a table. So that is the second option. The third one, instead of doing a subquery or subquery table, we are directly creating a correlated subquery. Let's see what the difference is. We just get the player and the device where this date, the event date, equal to, here I am going to create the event date, minimum of event date from the events, the activity table, where, so we can say A, where AA dot player ID equal to A dot player ID. Oops, A dot player ID. So here we don't want anything else. So first we create a select statement which says player ID and device from the activity, where the event date should be the first day, right? The minimum date. Event date should be, you get the minimum of event date from the activity table, where the player is referred in the topmost table, the A table. Okay? For every player ID, we trigger this correlated subquery. Okay? So if player ID equal to 1, right, we start with 1, 1, 2, 3, 3, right? So we start with 1. So here I get for the player ID 1 and the device ID whatever it is, like 1 and 2, right? You see, the event date should be, find the minimum of event date from the activity table where the player ID equal to this player ID, the A dot player ID, right? The topmost table. So for every player ID, every record, the player ID is connected with the correlated subquery and find the event date. So the date is minimum equal to the minimum of event date, then you get the result. So group by 1, we don't have to group by 1. So now you get the same result. I remove the group by because there is no non-group, non-aggregation function, right? We have only the aggregation function. So the player ID is supposed to be here. The player ID is supposed to be here like this. But since we are covering this, I put only the minimum. So if I want to get the player ID and this, what will I do? I can simply say, okay, let's create another, let's keep that as a reference, and we delete this guy. We cut it here. So I get the same query. I am going to select player ID and the event date, right? Minimum of event date from AA. I am removing the correlated subquery logic. Here, what I am going to do is get the combination of player ID and the event date in select the player ID and minimum of event from the activity table. Now you need group by one. So here we normally get the player ID and the first event date, and then compare that with the topmost table. If the player ID and the first event date is going to match this query, then you get the result. See, the same thing comes out. Instead of correlated subquery, we just can create this kind of subqueries, which is similar to the CT table and the subquery table. Okay, so we have 4 options here, and then we are going with the 5th option. The 5th one is our favorite Windows function. So what we do with the Windows function? We take this and say, get me the rank or row number, which one you like. We say row number over, it's for every player ID, partition by player ID, and the order by should be minimum of event date, right? Order by this as R number. So what happens for first? Okay, from activity row number over partition by this, you have an error, this over partition by order by this a dot row number. Sorry, it's a row number, it's a function. So if you see this, for every record, for 1 2, it gives a rank as 1, and the second one goes a rank as 2. Same way, 2 is having only 1, and 3 we get 1 as the first row, and then second row is based on order by the event date for every user. If you have 2 records in every user, find the minimum of the date. For user 3, find the minimum of the date. So it will just give me only for minimum, it gives 1, 1, 1, and 1. As I always say, if it's a snowflake or a HDFS or Hive, then we can use a qualify function. You can say qualify or num equal to 1. So you don't even have to have this part. You can directly give like this. We can remove it. So you don't have to show the row number. This will work for database which support the qualify function. If I don't find this, then I use this as CT table with raw data as, I put this and I say select player ID, device ID from the raw data where the row num equal to 1. It's going to throw an error. Player ID, device ID, the spelling mistake. Oh, R num, not E num. R num equal to 1. So I get the same result. So here, instead of row number, I can use rank or dense rank, whatever it is. The result is going to be the same. To summarize this, we are given an activity table and one player can log in on different day and different device. What they're asking us to do is find for each player when is the first time they log in and what is the device. So here we find the minimum of date. So for that we first use a CTE table, create the data set, and we refer this in the main SQL. That's one. Instead of creating a CTE table, because we are using only once in the SQL, right? So no need for CTE table. We can directly use that in the subquery table. Just replace the SQL in the subquery. If not, then we tried with the correlated subquery. Problem with the correlated subquery is for every event day, for every player, the subquery will be triggered, right? So for every player, the subquery automatically triggers and get the result. And the fourth one is we concatenate two columns and then we use the in class and then we just run it. Finally, we use the Windows function, row number, rank, content stack, whatever you want. This is the first number, right? First or top user. So row number is more than enough. We just create row number based on the player ID and the device ID, and they say, okay, row number sort based on the event date. So it will be ascending order. Whichever is the smallest event date, that will be 1. Other than that, we just see increments. And then we just say you get the row number and say row number equal to 1. So these are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 options. So if you want to practice this code, then this will be in the GitHub page. This video will be in the advanced SQL 15-30 questions, right? And if you go to the description part, there will be a link which take you to the GitHub page for the corresponding video. Now we are talking about the 37th video, right? So that will have this code base. So we have create statement, what to expect, and different approaches: CTE table, subquery table, and correlated subquery, then concatenation, and finally the Windows function. So you can use this for your practice. If you want to join the WhatsApp channel, then there's a link here. It will take you to the WhatsApp channel. So I will be posting the short videos before the actual video comes out. So you can just have a glimpse on before it shows up on the YouTube. Hope you like this video and thanks for watching.